YouTube is now lessening recommendations of alt-right videos and is using the alternative influence network that you're listed on. Thoughts? Yeah, this is the thing. Now, if you don't remember the alternative influence network, if you don't remember that, that was ultimately a situation where a few months ago, it came out that there was this network of people that were all connected. In fact, I'll bring up the image right now. So what we have here is January 1st through April, or January 1st, 2017 through April 1st, 2018. We have a whole series of people here that are connected, right? This graph is a partial representation of collaborative connections within the Alternative Influence Network, a network of controversial academics, media pundits, and internet celebrities who use YouTube to promote a range of political positions, from mainstream versions of libertarianism to conservatism to overt white nationalism. While collaborations can sometimes consist of debates and disagreements, they more frequently indicate social ties, endorsements, and advertisements for other influencers. Now, we can see here that the biggest ones are obviously Andy Worski and Carl Benjamin, aka Sargon of Akkad. And you can see there's a whole list of people on there that you probably know and or watch, but at the same time have literally zero reason to be on this list at all. I mean, I'm even down here at the very bottom, which is why this directly impacts me. And the reason why I'm here is because I've been on Andy Worski's stream a couple times and I talked to other people as well. Why? Because, well, collaborations. During the middle of 2017, at least on Andy Worski's side of things, when we realized that the adpocalypse was going to be a thing, that it was a thing, many people kind of banded together to do live shows to talk to one another as a way to bolster up content and to get super chats to keep afloat. We had to do what we had to do to survive by doing what YouTube wanted us to do, which was collaborate. So as a result of that, a lot of people ended up working together, which is where a lot of this list came from. Different political groups. There is some Venn diagram overlap here, but ultimately not in the way that the Alternative Influence Network study is trying to put out there. We broke this thing down time and time and time again, but still are having to deal with the goddamn nonsense of them putting it out. But this article here is really creepy. It says YouTube recommendations for alt-right videos have dropped dramatically. So here's the deal. I don't like the alt-right. I don't like what they stand for. I think the ethno-state is a joke. I think a lot of their ideas are jokes, stupid, idiotic, and dumb. As far as where they were 2 years ago, they are a fringe group at this point in time with very fringe ideas that still have a space here on YouTube to operate and spread those ideas, and they have a right to free speech 100%. YouTube has been trying to crack down on, well, conspiracy theory videos and fake news. They've been trying to crack down on like the fake moon landing videos and Sandy Hook videos and Las Vegas massacre videos. They've been trying to find ways to go after those for quite some time. This apparently might actually indicate where some of that's gone. So now YouTube denies that it's been demoting content based upon specific political perspectives, but I don't fully believe it, to be honest with you. Now, Google has made major changes to its recommendation system on YouTube and has reduced the amount of alt-right videos recommended to some users, according to a study led by Nicolas Suzor, an associate professor at Queensland University of Technology. During the first 2 weeks of February, alt-right videos appeared in YouTube's Up Next recommendations sidebar 7.8% of the time, roughly 1 in 13. From February 15th onward, that number dropped to 0.04%, roughly 1 in 250. That is a significant drop. That is a very significant drop. And even in my own videos, I have noticed there's been a significant drop from the beginning of this month to now. I went and I looked at my analytics. I'm like, yeah, I was doing better at the beginning of the month, and then it just started really kind of going down. Some videos pick up a little bit better, other videos don't. The algorithm is very interesting in how it approaches certain things. And I'm a left-leaning individual. I'm a Bernie Sanders supporter that's on this Alternative Influence Network, and I'm wondering like if I got caught in the same trap as everybody else. And considering the situation involving all of the predatory comments on those kid videos, and YouTube really kind of turning the screws on that, as well as trying to stop conspiracy theory videos, like it does kind of feel like they're just screwing things down to a halt. I mean, I have friends who run channels completely devoid of politics, and they've seen massive increases this month because they're doing better in the algorithm. So the question then becomes, is this an actual shutdown of political speech that they're trying to attempt to say is associated with the alt-right using this network. Now, Suzor's study took random samples of 3.6 million videos and used 81 channels listed on a recent study by Rebecca Lewis as a starting point. Now, it's not to say all of these channels are tied into the Alternative Influence Network, but 81 channels is a big number. Remember, looking at this here, there's a lot of channels listed. Even down here with me, if you go and you look at the actual PDF study, you will find what other channels we run. Because now, YouTubers technically tend to run more than one channel, different audiences, different niches, things like that. But even me, they've got me listed down there with some of my alternative channels. And, I don't upload on them very often, but they were very much providing YouTube with a hit list. They were very much using a hit list here, and it does feel like this particular guy has kind of tapped into it. Now, it says here, the list includes voices like Richard Spencer, an American white supremacist. I don't know if I'd ever call him a supremacist, definitely a nationalist. But then again, ethnostates are stupid. That also includes more mainstream voices like Joe Rogan, who does not self-identify as alt-right, but often plays to host more extremist voices, including Alex Jones. Like the Alex Jones thing with Joe Rogan yesterday was more of a beef that they were going off about versus anything else. So there's that. But Joe Rogan will bring on people with different political ideas and just to have a conversation about them. Like Candace Owen recently was on there, and they were kind of agreeing on a couple items to the point of where she felt that her guard could drop, and she let a couple things slip that were like, wow, okay, that's your real opinion, and you're an effing moron. And even now, based upon other things she's done that's stupid, her own company is starting to try to find a way to oust her from it. So, Joe Rogan is not, he's very much a centered individual, but he does want to hear the opinions of other people that he disagrees with, oftentimes to kind of point the holes through them. Look at Dave Rubin and the, and the postal service and mail-in chickens, if you don't know about that one. Now, the drop appears significant, but it's difficult to figure out precisely how it dropped. We don't know if YouTube is targeting alt-right videos specifically, or if the drop is part of a broader changes to YouTube's recommendation system. Well, based upon my knowledge of the recommendation system, that could be a factor. So here's the way it kind of happens. If you have under 100,000 subscribers, and this has been true since April of last year, YouTube will recommend non-subbed accounts your videos more often. And then once you hit 100,000, it recommends your videos to subbed accounts more often, trying to keep your current audience engaged in your content, while recommending your videos to to unsubbed accounts less. This has been going on for quite some time. They could have changed it. They do roughly change up their algorithm once every 3 months. About once every quarter is when they really kind of tweak things. And there's usually one big or two big changes every single year that they don't ever tell you about. They don't ever tell you where things are changing. But I read and I watch a lot of YouTube experts, people who are certified on the platform, who understand the platform, talk about these things in order to be aware of what's changing, of what's happening, because you have to. I think that's the only way to stay afloat in this industry, is to be aware of where it's going and then try to get ahead of it. But it's very difficult when YouTube doesn't talk about this kind of stuff. And a lot of it is very much speculative based. Even with people who are experts who may not have all the info, they do rely on a lot of speculation that sometimes is not entirely accurate. Anyway, YouTube has long spoken about making changes or recommendations. As early as 2 weeks ago, it was criticized for allowing the Flat Earth movement to flourish on this platform. Again, conspiracy-based videos and having lots of issues with that. In response, YouTube has attempted to curtail what it refers to as false information, even when people express controversial beliefs, but has been working to reduce the spread of misinformation on the platform. And again, the way it works out is because YouTube is all personality-driven content. It's all personality-driven content. So people who have a good personality that are able to kind of express these conspiracy videos or these conspiracy theories, they are then kind of treated as being factual. A lot of YouTubers will look at some of the most extreme people out there and go, yeah, you're right. Oh, that dude's right. And I've watched this happen. I've watched people, not necessarily in this kind of political space, but other areas, outright lie, like willfully maliciously lie about subjects, and their audience never questions it. Their audience never questions what they say or does just even the bare minimum of fact check, but they believe them whole cloth because it's just easier to listen to somebody you trust and take their opinion as fact. And that becomes an issue. So when that happens, we get a lot of fake information, and I'm wondering if YouTube has just been cracking down on that. And it really just depends on where they're at. And again, I'm going to a training seminar here in the next couple weeks with one of the bigger guys who's in on this stuff, travels the world teaching YouTube. And I'm going to ask him about the algorithm and the recommendations and whether or not this is true. Because I want to know if by just being on this list, by having just talked to Andy Worski and other people here that I have met in person at VidCon, friends of mine, well, not Andy anymore, but legitimate friends of mine that I hang out with and talk to on a normal basis, if by just talking with them, but because we talked together at a time when we had to, and someone just made this fake information, this easily debunkable chart, and if this is going to kill all of us, and it could happen, it could very much happen. You know, you could sit there and argue, you know, internal beef amongst YouTubers could cause it to happen. No. This is a grander thing than that. This is like a Knights of the Round Table. Everyone who hates together gets together and looks at each other and goes, look, we have to solve this problem. We have to find a way to work together. If not, they're going to start picking us off one by one. That's what it feels like. Now, they've also, this is YouTube, have been investing in surfacing credible voices on this platform. In the last year alone, we've made hundreds of changes to improve the quality of recommendation for users on YouTube. Again, these people are like, they want to work more with news on like a local news scale. But a lot of people who are critical of that are like, well, who's running the news? Is it Sinclair Media, which is inherently right-leaning based? And we've seen that they kind of control the narrative in some of their stations. So that is a problem. If you don't believe me, John Oliver did a great breakdown of Sinclair. And then also there's a video that came out last year showcasing all of these outlets that Sinclair owns, all reading the exact same statement in the exact same way with the exact same cadence. And it was creepy as shit, but it exists. It shows you that there is collusion amongst those networks going out to their unknowing local audience. And that's who YouTube then wants to use as props for factual information because people have such a distrust in the mainstream media. It's a weird, weird place to be. It's a weird place to be. Now, YouTube also said that it would be a gradual change and apply to less than 1% of the content uploaded to YouTube. Okay. Let's look at it like this. Let's look at it like this. Okay. 400 hours are uploaded to YouTube every single minute. Every single minute, 400 hours is the estimate. That means 72 years worth of content is uploaded every single day. YouTube cannot in any feasible way actually control that content, can manually look at that content to determine whether or not it's good or it's bad. They can't do it. They simply cannot. So what they do is they rely on the bots, and the bots are not perfect, and the bots make a lot of mistakes, and the bots are always changing. This is why the algorithm's always changing. So that's a problem. That's a very big problem with all this stuff, and we need to figure out what to do. I don't know though. I wish I knew what to do. I wish I knew how to solve the problem. I have lots of friends of mine who, you know, they'll put on a brave face. They'll go out there and they'll be like, you know what? And then behind the scenes, they're like, oh damn, what the hell's going on? And they're as dumbstruck as anybody else because they just don't know. They do not know because YouTube doesn't tell them, and they're left to fend for themselves. And it's one of the reasons why people have been like leaving. People have been quitting doing this as a career because they're just getting burnt out. And when YouTube starts targeting commentators and trying to mislabel them and associate them with the wrong groups of people, and as a result, they end up losing relevance and recommendations, we already know there's a subscriber glitch. We already know that YouTube doesn't show people everything on what their subscribers, the subscribe channels put out. And also, and this is true, more and more people are looking at it from their phone, and they don't go to their subscriber page on their phone. They just rely on the home feature, which doesn't always show you the latest update put out by your subscribe channels. So it's a whole mess that is one of those things where it's maddening if you don't know what you're looking at. And even when you do know what you're looking at, like I know what I'm looking at, it's still frustrating, but I have hope that they'll figure it out. I have hope that they'll be able to get it together. But there are people out there that push doom and gloom on YouTube every single day, and yet they're still here every single day. So you have to kind of take that into account as well. It's all like, how much of it is pushing this doom and gloom because it gets people riled up versus how much of it is actually fear. And I think that goes on very much a case by case basis. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this clip from Whatever. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to thumbs up the video, subscribe. You can even submit your own stories to peskyadblock@gmail.com or call the voicemail line. If you want to help support the channel financially, you can always join the channel, become a member today, or go to patreon.com/MundaneMatt. Thank you guys again so much. Have yourself a great day, and peace out.